I am delighted that you're here. You know, there's a lot of things that we do in life. Some things turn out well, some things don't. But the fact that as black men and women, that you're in this room together with the idea of getting something from this city that you all contribute to, your families have, and they've done this for generations. As you all know, the city went through a horrible moment with the tornado. We're in the middle of recovery, and we need to be part of that. This is our community, this is our city, and we should act like it. I just want to say this because there are contractors in the room. I'm the president of the Heartland St. Louis Black Chamber of Commerce, but I have somewhat of a construction background. I was a general contractor. My firm was blessed to put the 70,000 seats in the football dome. I built the arena downtown, First Baptist Church in Chesterfield, the Capitol House, which is around the corner, and a number of things in Grand Center. So I know the milieu. I know what you go through, because I've been there, and I went through it too. And I have a heart for what we need to do is, we need to be lifted up. And so that's what this meeting is all about. I am delighted to introduce you to Mr. Dillion, who is with the city, a major part of the recovery team. I have not known him for a long time, but I think he shares for us a commitment to involving us in this next step of recovery in this town. I think his heart's in it. I think his mind's in it. He needs to hear, you need to hear from him. He needs to hear from you.
My name is Dillion Holliam. I actually work with SLDC. I've been moved out of SLDC and to support the city's recovery office. So I lead the housing restoration and repair portion. And so that is everything around the repair work. I don't lead the demolition work, that's another sect, but I do help support all of the repair work. I do have here, just to reintroduce Ty, he's with our SLS, he's the team that manages our local contractors, or GCs, that help us keep the flow moving. And then I also have Mr. Parham, Mr. Jeremy Parham here. He is on our Tetra Tech side to help us with engaging with residents, with data, making sure inspections and testing all flow through properly. And so these two individuals are very critical to the entire rapid repair team. The rebuilding resources and the money is one of the best ways that we have to build a pipeline of local contractors and scale up economically our city. And so that's really one of the main goals, is not just connecting residents with the resources they need to get back online, but to also have a way to build our economy in some way, shape, or form in terms of activating our local minority small scale contractors, smaller scale contractors. As of right now, this number is not right. Right now we have about 14.8 million in our bucket right now. That does not include RAMs. That RAMs discussion is actually happening. It was actually happening today. And so we'll get an understanding of what that looks like. But right now we're looking at around 200. We have about 215 homes in our pipeline with the money that we can support right now. And so this is just being candid, right? These repairs, if you look at your program, everybody should have a one-pager sheet. This is just the overview of the program. I'll reference that as we go throughout the time. But the reason I bring up this is because I really want you to understand, you guys are contractors, you get the dollar, you get to understand, you understand margins, you understand value engineering and what it means. You know that there's not a lot we can do with $50,000 per home, right? So we have to pick and choose. We have to get it really clear on what we can do. The primary goal of this program is to get homes back to safe, sanitary, and functional compliance, or in a way to get residents back into the home who have been affected by the tornado. And so this isn't a make pretty program. This isn't a get everything back to 100%, right? This is let's make this home as safe and habitable and functional as sanitary as possible, so that we can get people back activated, and then we can start building around them. And so this is the immediate activation. This is the program that would be set up by FEMA if FEMA was here. We don't got FEMA, we're doing it. And so this is why I'm here, to ask you guys for all of the help and get as much information as possible so that we can actually start scaling up this work. The goal of this program is to hire local. It's to leverage local capacity, it's to use local residents, it's to connect local contractors and companies with the residents in need. And so as we do, you know, this is a place where I do feel like I can be candid. Yes, we did hire somebody out of town. The reason we brought SLS in is because they have capacity. They've done this all around the world. They do disaster responses all around the world. We're using them as our construction management team. This construction management team is the one who will be managing our contractors. We're still going with the local first approach. I don't have the capacity to manage 20, 30 contractors, but he does. He has the experience, they have the leverage, they have the capacity, and they have the bonding capacity, right? And so it's a strategic move to help us start to scale and elevate and build capacity to our local contractor group. And so that is the intention of why you see a Texas company coming in to support, because they are supporting us with capacity to help manage and lead the work and leverage the work.
So our goal is to make it as simple as possible for you guys to do what you're best at, which is construction, and not have to worry about the red tape, and us staying in compliance with everything the city requires, everything that, you know, any kind of state funding, all the other kind of things are. We want to handle that side, let you guys do what you do best, which is construction. And we as SLS, we don't self-perform. So like Dillion said, I mean, this program being successful is going to be because of the contractors. Now it can be unsuccessful because of SLS, but if it's going to be successful, it is going to be successful because of the contractors. So that's why, you know, meetings like this are so important, getting involvement, increasing that capacity, and you know, really you guys knowing that it's the guys in the field. It's you guys, it's your crews. You're the guys doing the work, and that's important. And we're still working through some of the eligibility, a lot, you know, several in initial inspection scope approval. We have some in there, so they're working their way through. Call this the pipeline, right? Think of it like an assembly line, and so there's still jobs coming out. Yeah,
But how, at what point, who
Right after-
contacts the contractor about the scope of work?
our team.
Yep.
Yeah, our team will reach out with an assignment, and that assignment can either be accepted or rejected.
So what is your process of contacting the contractor? Do you do it individually? Do you blast it out?
And selection.
Yes.
How do you select the contractor?
Yeah. So
And then what's the follow-up step to that?
Do we want to go through this and then kind of circle back
How
to
do
that
we,
question?
so I will
Yeah.
get to some. How do you get involved in the first place? There's the connection. So the reason we're doing this now is because we have 14.8 million. That does about 215 homes. I don't want to call all of you and say, well, are you ready to go? And I only got 250 like this. We're scaling, okay? This is a scale up. Now we're in a good place. RAM's funding is coming online. We're attempting to make more partnerships. We're doing more. So now I think we're in a good place where we can start to scale up, right? How to qualify as a contractor, licensed and in good standing. That's kind of the low ball. You got to make sure that you're licensed within the city. We're not bringing in out-of-towners to do the construction work, to work on our residents' home. So that's just kind of a standard, right? Proof of workers' comp as required by Missouri law. Your subcontractors will apply separately. So you apply as an entity, and then you will bring your subcontractors along in partnership with us and SLS. Automobile insurance, liability insurance, limited liability insurance maintained throughout the work. I'll let Ty speak a little bit more on that piece. But one of the things I do want to make sure you know is we are encouraging companies to be certified with MWBE. This is why we're here.
We don't have a functional MWBE.
Right, and it's not a requirement.
I know requirement, but I'm just saying I get that, but it's not even functional enough for someone to apply, and they gotta wait 6 months to a year to even think about getting certified, and may automatically be denied because you don't have the right team to actually get them to.
It's encouraged. MWBE is encouraged.
Line item 6 don't mean nothing at all.
We here, right? We here, and we want to get you involved. This doesn't matter because it's paused, right? Regardless, there's criteria and things that are happening, but still, I just want to say that it's encouraged because we want to look out for it.
I'm a plumbing contractor, and they've had people come in and do plumbing, and then when I pull my permits for the work that I'm going to do, the inspector comes in and say, I want all that torn out. be done.
We've actually seen that. We've
So
actually
you
seen
need
that.
to be sure that they're pulling permits for this work that they're doing.
Around the permits and around inspections. So we've actually seen contractors perform work on a house, didn't get it permitted, inspected.
Not in our program.
Not in our program, but the work after the tornado, there was they hired a contractor. So when we came in and did the work, our building inspecting team didn't approve of it. So we had to figure out what we're going to do in order to protect the resident and allow the home to be safe, sanitary, and functional. So we for sure are working with the building division and making sure those homes are being permanently inspected.
This after you're assigned a job and you get a job, permitting is absolutely a requirement to complete the job.
Is there any effort to make sure that these companies, and we're focused on black companies, right, or minority companies, right? Is there a way that you can kind of check to make sure that they're minority companies? Is there something that you can vet?
And there are verification processes. We have minority contractors on our books now. That is a priority. That is a focus of mine. And so I'll get the information.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of face-to-face time between you guys and SLS staff, right? Our superintendents, all those kind of things. Because again, from the compliance aspect, doing change orders, I mean, one big part about this is likely different than some of the work some people do, is that we have to stick explicitly to the scope of work, right? These are government dollars going into it. So if you want to be paid for something, it has to be on the scope of work. If not, we need a change order for it, right? So there's tracking and photo reports and all those kind of things that we have to do for the city as SLS. Again, don't want you to have to worry about that, we're doing. But that's a lot of face-to-face time with our superintendent on site with you. I think even more than that, a massive hurdle is the payment terms. And on job completion, we pay really fast. I mean, we have 30-day terms. We beat that significantly. But the deal is that 100% of job payment is made at the completion of the project. And so we don't do advances. That's really the biggest thing. And there's really, because these are jobs are only $50,000, they're supposed to be in and out real quick, right? Like 10 days. Like, we're not gonna be able to make 2 consecutive payments fast enough to make it worth it to have like a 50% milestone and a 100% milestone. Right?
Knowing full well upon completion of your inspection, job's completed, pay within 15 days. And I understand, not to get into your company's personal business, but one of the reasons you were hired for this position is because of your financing, that you had a very strong financing that most people don't have. And that would, I would say, encourage you, policy-wise, to be willing to pay 15 days after completion of the work. That would make a big difference to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, that is our accounting, the expectations we set. Anything completed by Thursday of week 1, paid Friday of week 2.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Let me ask one quick question. These homes are occupied by people, right?
They are.
Most of them, yes.
That sometimes can be difficult to cope with.
Very difficult.
There's some liability involved.
Hardest is when you got somebody in the house.
Yeah, that's a whole different line.
So-
What do you do about that liability side?
We
Because the
handle-
child's in the house, child father on the steps while contractor's there. Those are issues that you have to be able to mitigate.
So SLS handles both move out of belongings and provide for temporary relocation assistance to applicants over the course of construction. On some cases, if it's possible that an applicant sleeps there at night, they still have to be out from 7 in the morning to 7 at night.
Mission St. Louis and do all the recovery with Mission St. Louis. You get done with it. They give you a scope, you agree to the scope, sign the contract, and now you go out and perform the work. You finish the work. Now you got to go out there and get the customer or the homeowner the sign saying you're done. And they got to honor up to the scope that you or Mission St. Louis have established, which they want more work done. Are you going to that owner and saying, this is all you getting and this is it, period? We're not going to go to that owner and say anything. We're going to go to your superintendent and say it's done. And then, like this man says, you're the one fronting the money to us after we're done. And like Ms. Goodwin says, you're getting out, you two getting the doggone inspections done. We're not worrying about going out getting the inspections because Mission St. Louis make us go get inspections.
Yep.
So there's a couple things there. So yes.
Oh, there's more than a couple.
And so I'll answer each individually. So yeah, I actually encourage, I discourage contractors talking to homeowners directly, unless it's for the purpose of coordination. If you're picking up a key, something like that, because you need access to the house, I don't want to just play telephone to it, right? But anything pertaining to the contract, anything pertaining to the scope, any of the hard conversations, we absolutely have. Because we're very clear with that on the front end. And that tri-party agreement,
Yes.
that is very clear that this is the work we can perform under this program, and that is it.
But my question is that there's an ordinance from the chief inspector of the city that says that if you're putting it back the way that it was, right? So if you're not making any structural enhancement, you're not adding any, decorative stone or anything like on the masonry or stuff, if you're just putting it back the way it was, that you don't have to get a permit. Okay? And that was an ordinance that was put out because they're trying to expedite the build back, which is my next question is that if we, like for contractors in this space, right? If we have the capacity to swell up, and I know you're doing building at a time, right? But if it's demonstrated that you can do 20 at a time or 30 at a time, right? And then some of the people in this room, right, are proven to have skills and such that can be employed, are we permitted to suggest a system to you as a GC like we've done with Paul Davis, First on Site, of saying, hey, look, we can expedite the permit process. We can forfeit the materials, right, that are needed for multiple jobs. Is there some type of process like that you guys would entertain? Or
So there will be a score sheet, and the score sheet takes into account capacity. So your capacity to take on more jobs will be a part in dictating whether or not you get more jobs, right, and the volume of jobs that you get. And with 250, there's not a lot of wiggle room there because there's not like massive volume we can push in. But depending on the Rams money, we should get to that point. Right?
So I understand like you're going to vet the contractors, onboard them. When it comes to actually distributing the work, like I wasn't clear on this part of the process. Like you'll see, hey, this contractor, we're going to try this contractor out based on whatever criteria you have, and then send an email out. Is that how the initial job will go?
Yeah, the entire onboarding package is a lot, right? I mean, there's a master service agreement. We got to get your COIs, we got to get all the other information, we got to verify ACH information, all those kind of things. So it's a process to get on board.
Paperwork? Y'all just assign the job and say
it's assigned because again, you go back to what I was talking about earlier. There's not 215 jobs ready to swing hammers on us, right? Just from that assembly line process, making it through inspections to scoping to their approval, tri-parties.
Waiting on move-outs, waiting on signatures,
So there's a lot that has to make its way through. So, if you were onboarding tomorrow, I don't know exactly when I can tell you your site walk's going to be to do your first job.
So I'm a contractor. I have workman's comp. I have all my paperwork. Now my thing is to jump out there and do a job. Workman's comp is expensive as hell. And then you mean to tell me I'm still maintaining my insurance and everything, got everything going. You still got to pay it no matter what. But I'm still coming up with all the supplies and everything too. If I can do that, then I'm no longer a small business. I'm pretty much, yeah. But that's just, I'm blessed where I can stay to but man, everybody around me is not like that.
The city's the contractor registry was a way we tried to protect residents immediately after the tornado from being scammed. And so what we wanted to do was make sure that we did a broad call to contractors and say, hey, submit your information, make sure you have the official documentation, your license, your certifications, any type of trade information that you can, and that was to protect our residents so that they had a confident, trustworthy place that they could go to hire a contractor, and that we had a paper trail that we could follow them and ping them if they did something wrong. That was the intent. That was the intention of that initially.